great lineup today. We're going to start the morning off. We have 3 great speakers. I'm not going to get into too much about what they're going to talk about until I introduce them. But this morning we're going to be talking about where the oil is and how it moves around. And then we're going to do a little question and answer period, a little input discussion period. We're going to have our speakers come up. So we'll hold questions until that time, but we have a good block of time set aside. So jot down your questions if you have any. Then we're going to have lunch. We have lasagna for lunch. I'm really excited. And then in the afternoon, we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about how long the oil will stick around. So 3 more wonderful speakers. So we're really excited about today. So before we get started, I just want to do a quick introduction to kind of tell you guys why we're all here, why we're sharing this information today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Sea Grant programs of the Gulf of Mexico, a new oil spill science program, outreach program that we started about just about a year ago. So how many people are familiar with Sea Grant? Okay, good. Okay, so if you didn't know, there's 4 Sea Grant programs around the Gulf of Mexico. We have one in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and then in Mississippi and Alabama, our program's actually a joint program. And so the mission of Sea Grant is to enhance the practical use and conservation of coastal marine resources. And so we have different areas that we focus on, which are listed up on this slide. And we fund research, but then we also have extension agents that are embedded in these communities and can take that science and share it with people that can use it. So for example, we do a lot with the fishing industry, taking science that might be in scientific publications that people might not see, translating that information and sharing it with them to answer the questions that they have. So how many people are familiar with GOMRI? Anyone? Okay, a few less hands. So the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, GOMRI, or some people call it GOMRI. So the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative was started in 2010 after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, with the goal to improve our ability to understand, respond to, and mitigate the impacts of oil spills. So this initiative has a 20-member independent research board, and it's administered and managed through the Gulf of Mexico Alliance. And so this is a 10-year investment. Again, it was started back in 2010, and a $500 million investment. So to date, there's been about $330 million that have been given to different researchers to do different research projects. And a lot of outputs have started coming out of this initiative. So there's over 560 publications that have come out of these funded projects, and 600 data sets that are publicly available. So I'm going to show you guys the databases that hold those in a second. So, before we go on, these are the 5 theme areas of GOMRI, and so I just want you to take a peek at these because in a minute we're going to do a little survey with clickers. And so GOMRI focuses on the physical distribution and dilution of oil and dispersants, chemical and biological degradation, so how the oil and dispersants interact with one another and the ecosystems, the environmental impacts of oil and dispersants, new developments in technology, and then also the impact to public health. So those are those 5 theme areas that GOMRI focuses on. So because GOMRI has all this information coming out of these research projects, and Sea Grant is already embedded into these different audiences, into these communities that can use this information, we teamed up to start this outreach program. So this is our team, and so we have Chris Hale, who's over in Corpus Christi, Texas, and Chris is focused on the environmental impacts of the oil spill. Emily Mong Douglas, who's over in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with Louisiana Sea Grant, she's focused on the chemical interactions of oil and dispersants. I'm located in Mobile, Alabama, covering Mississippi and Alabama. I'm focused on public health impacts, and then Monica, who's over in St. Petersburg, Florida, is focused on physical oceanography. And then Steve Sempier is our coordinator who holds us all together, keeps us on track. So this is our team. So if you've been to another seminar, you might be on our email list. If you're not, you will be after today. So this is our team that's doing this outreach. And so what are we doing? So we share peer-reviewed published science. So again, that published information that these audiences might not see otherwise. So we do this in 2 ways. We have these science outreach publications, that we're working on some right now related to fisheries and dispersants, which will be out soon. And then also science seminars like what you guys are at today. So for both of these, we share that science. And at these science seminars, we're having experts come in and actually present the information so you guys can ask them questions. And all the topics that we focus on, we're having this workshop today because this was a need that we heard when we went around and met with a lot of our audiences. So that's how we figured out what different topics we would focus these publications and seminars on. And then we're also doing input sessions. So later today, we'll, during that Q&A, if you guys have questions that we can't answer, we're going to write them down, and then we'll see in the future, maybe we can incorporate those into a publication or another science seminar. So we also have a website, which I'll send out the link to you guys when we follow up after this seminar. But we have our upcoming seminars there. We put the recordings of our past seminars. We're going to put our publications up there. And then we also have that email list where we'll be sending out new updates to you guys. Okay, and then I mentioned there were all those publications. So over 560 publications that have come out to date from GOMRI-funded research. Those are housed on this database. So I'll send out this link too. But if you just do a search, so for example, I just did a search, you can see, for beach. And 25 publications came up just when I did that simple search. So if you guys search for keywords, this is just publications. You can also use this database to search for projects that are ongoing, so to kind of keep tabs on what's coming out. And you can also rely on us, our team, if you need information as well. So if you guys had questions, you can email us and we could use this database. And then I also mentioned those more than 600 publicly available data sets. So those are housed in this database that GOMRI also runs. This is called GridC. And so again, I did a search for beach. And 15 data sets came up, and it's a little hard to see, but there's even 7 more that are expected soon. Probably some of our researchers might have data sets in here. And then what you do is when you click on one of the data sets, it'll come up with more information. So you can see under that map, it tells you details, it tells you about the metadata, the publications that are associated with it. And then if you click that little box up on the top right, you can actually download the data. So you do have to log in. I just logged in with my Google ID, but it'll download, you can download data sets. So if you guys are interested in that, I just wanted to share it. Okay, so Jacqueline and Mike, will you pass out the clickers? Okay, so now we're gonna do a little clicker activity. Don't get nervous, it's only 5 questions, it's all opinion-based, but we wanna see who's in the room and get to know everyone a little bit better. So for those of you who are on the phone, Monica is going to share a SurveyMonkey link in the chat box. So you guys are going to use SurveyMonkey to do this part of the exercise. Everybody else is going to use your clickers. So we'll give a few minutes for everyone to pull up that SurveyMonkey link and for our clickers to get passed out.